We close out an incredible day of racing here at Jerez with race 6 of 6, the Stock European Championship, and it is always a crowd pleaser. These riders bring power, precision and serious skill to the track with bigger bikes and a style all of their own. The stock class delivers some of the most exciting and competitive racing on the schedule. The Circuito de Jerez-Angel Nieto is the perfect stage, 4.43 kilometers of flowing corners, technical braking zones, and a layout that rewards commitment. It's a rider's circuit and a fan favourite for good reason. After 5 races of flat-out action, there's still one more story to be written. The sun is still shining, the engines are primed. Let's end the day on a high. So last time out, this stock class got the best of the weather in Estoril as they close out the day's action. As always, Iker Garcia launched from pole position for the first time in what proved to be a dramatic affair. A number of riders encountered issues, while back at the front, Garcia opened a commanding lead, having fended off the challenge of Borja Gomez, who then led a 4-way fight for the final 2 podium places. Gomez and Jacopo Quartararo won the battle for second and third ahead of Tibor Varga and Archie Bob McDonald, as they all followed a brilliant Garcia home. The number 11 picked up his maiden win in Estoril and he now leads the championship chase, but he comes into this one with a target on his back. The number 11, Iker Garcia, started on pole in Estoril, won the race, and is the championship leader. He is the rider to catch. Now, 30 degrees air temperature, as you can see here. It's the end of the day, 4 p.m. almost, in the sunny south of Spain. Conditions have been absolutely scorching all weekend. But after 5 races, we're ready for one more. Bringing you coverage of the event today has been me, Chris Jordan, alongside Connor Doherty. And Connor, with this stock class, this category this year, it's really hard to predict what is going to happen at any given point. You saw Iker Garcia is a rider who came through last year and performed, picked up the podium, and really started in the best way possible with victory. But then you have the likes of Jacopo Quartararo, who's making his mark, Andy Verdoya returns, Ruben Romero, Tibor Varga finished P4. There's quality stacked across the field. We don't have Lorenzo Dalla Porta today, but he will be back in the stock class, a race winner. So it's really hard to predict what is going to happen this year in 2025 stock class, right?
No, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the most fascinating classes for us to be watching and of course commentating on. We've got a real privilege here to be able to do so. Jacopo Quartararo with his first pole position after that podium in Estoril is going to be absolutely fascinating. And Andy Verdoya with an immediate impact. I mean, he missed out in Estoril. He's here and he's on the front row, so it's going to be very interesting to see what he's capable of as well. Whereas for Ruben Romero, who makes up that third position on the front row, well, it'll be very interesting to see what he does as well.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race, particularly for this rider, Jacopo Quartararo, who starts from pole position. Let's hear what he has to say.
For sure, it's nice to be here and starting in the pole position. The conditions are really strong, so it's strange to go like this. It's really hot, but nice to be here. The most important is tomorrow on the race, but for sure it's nice. I hope, but it's difficult to go. For me, I will try to make the first lap with the group. And then, for sure, I will try to push a little bit more in the half of the race, so we will see.
A 1:44.423 then from Jacopo Quartararo sees him start on pole position for the very first time in his stock career. And I tell you what, judging from that interview, he looks a very cool, calm, perhaps nonchalant character, but you need to be cool in these conditions. As we mentioned, it's been absolutely scorching all weekend. 30 degrees here today at 4 p.m. I think it's probably the coolest it has been than in the few days we've been here, Friday, Saturday, high 30 degrees. It's a leisurely 30 degrees, I think we could say today. And he seems to be dealing with the heat quite well, as we see some fans get some snaps of the stock class here. So Cretaro starts on pole position, but then the 52 of Andy Verdoya, French rider, returns. Of course, and ever present in 2024, missed out on the opening round as he was in Cremona during the World SBK weekend with Supersport. But Verdoya now is back to his bread and butter here, and hopefully can spring a few surprises and put himself in that podium conversation. P2 on the grid, he's in a good position to do so.
Yeah, absolutely, as is Ruben Romero on that number 71 machine. He was a fantastic rider last year. This time around, we haven't seen the best of him. Only managed P15 in Estoril, and as you mentioned earlier, the conditions haven't been good all weekend in terms of the heat, the sheer temperature that these riders are having to deal with. But once again, as in Estoril, stock's got the best of it. In Estoril, we saw everything becoming much clearer, drying up after what was really almost a washout. And then this time around, it's much cooler than it was earlier in the day.
Yeah, Estoril, very mixed weather conditions, but stock do seem to get the best of it. There's Archie Bob McDonald, race winner in Portimao last year, starting at the head of the fourth row. Just a touch on Ruben Romero, as you said, 2024, really talented rider. Saw him at the forefront of proceedings quite often, as we see Iker Garcia, the race one winner here, with a message saying "Recuperarte pronto, Oscar," a message to Oscar Gutierrez, the Moto2 European Championship rider who picked up a serious looking injury from the Moto E race a few weeks ago. But Ruben Romero, just to mention, yeah, back on the front row, hopes to compete for honours here today, but does have a long lap penalty coming his way. Blai Trias also sharing the same message for Oscar Gutierrez, as we all do, hoping the number 99 comes back fitter and stronger. Blai Trias, pretty impressive qualifying performance from him, puts him 6th, and he's had a decent outing. First time in the stock class, P11 in Estoril. Just lining up at the head of the third row, it's Tibor Varga. I have to say, very impressive ride from the former Northern Talent Cup rider Varga in Estoril. Unfortunate not to be in the podium places, but charged through from deep on the pack to catch up with that podium fight. Placed 4th in the end. Battled the likes of Borja Gomez. Cretaro was in there too, but he was the unlucky one that just missed out. Archie Bob McDonald as well, both missing out on the podium, was Cretaro, and Borja Gomez took 2nd and 3rd place. Marco Gaggi starting from 8th. But yeah, Tibor Varga, have to say, very impressive outing in Estoril. Looks like he could be a real contender in 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. A P4 finish is not something to be scoffed at whatsoever, especially when you're surrounded by riders of this caliber. And you've got to remember as well, he was beating former world champions, of course, like Lorenzo Della Porta, who we've mentioned isn't here. So that's an incredibly impressive feat, and he'll be very pleased to have done so. There's Joan Diaz as well lining up. He's going to be starting from P9.
Yeah, impressive weekend as well for Joan Diaz, getting himself up onto the 3rd row. Solid outing in Estoril too.
Would you like one of those hats?
Absolutely, in this heat, why not? Bence Keskes, another Hungarian rider here in the Stock European Championship. Hopeful of a strong point scoring finish. He starts 10th on the grid, Keskes, and he'd be hopeful enough of at least finishing inside the top 10. He does have some competition coming from behind him. Chiefly, you see Borja Gomez, who was on the podium last time on board the Honda Laglice machine. There's a couple other riders that you recognizable. Here is Borja Gomez. So you have the likes of David Sanchez, who's at the back as well. Then Javier Del Olmo, we've seen him at the front of races too, but he's starting very far back. So there's a lot of quality in this stock field, but you do have to look at this race and potential winners And it's hard to see it coming outside of, well, not to narrow it down, but the top 7, perhaps top 5 maybe. Iker Garcia, your race winner in Estoril from the middle of the second row. A good start could set him up like it did back in Estoril. He did battle off the likes of Borja Gomez across the opening laps, but then once he disposed of the Spaniard, he romped home to a solid victory.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a shame that this is going to be the final time we're seeing the riders lining up next to that UFO, so emblematic of Jerez. But we are about to get underway with the very last race of what has been a wonderful, a dramatic, and absolutely excitement-inducing from start to finish day of racing in the FIM JuniorGP World Championship. It all concludes here with the Stock European Championship. We're almost ready to get underway.
Yeah, very much looking forward to this one, Connor. It's Stock has always proven a great race to close out the day. Ever since they met it, it's a standalone race. Of course, it used to be part of the Moto2 European Championship, a race within a race of sorts. But now they have their own time to shine on track. It always closes out the day. And particularly recently, there have been some absolute belters in the class.
Absolutely, and some incredibly talented riders. I mean, the people that you see coming through Stock and then moving on to Moto2 European Championship, for example. Last year, towards the end of last year, we saw some absolutely phenomenal racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Danny Munoz. Yeah, Danny Munoz among them, as is Mario Mayol.
Exactly. Here we have the starting grid then for this Stock race. Cretaro from pole, Verdoya from P2, and Romero completing the front row. On row 2, McDonald, Garcia and Trias. Row 3, Varga, Gaggi and Dia. On row 4, Quezquez, Gomez and Foligny. On row 5, Santos, Fuertes and Capote. Row 6, Jimenez, Brinton and Sanchez. On row 7, Garcia, Pilipenko and Nestola. On row 8, Passanisi, Valente and Beton. And row 9, Del Olmo, Bevilacqua and Daliano. On row 10, Van Rosmalen, Saiz and Aparici. On row 11, Venturini and Ruiz.
A very international grid in 2025 in the Stock European Championship. It has to be said as we get ready to go on the warm-up lap here. Very colourful leathers and liveries out there too. It's always nice to have a little bit of flair to close out the day, but it's Jacopo Cretaro who's going to start from pole position here today, and he'll lead them around on this warm-up lap. And you hear the engines roaring, orchestral noise. Absolutely beautiful to listen to. So around we go on the warm-up lap. Of course, plenty of overtaking hotspots. 1 and 2, we can see some good opportunities. Turn 2 here before we flick it left through 3, followed by another sweeping left-hander, fast 1-2, turn 4. But this is the end of sector 1, and it's at the start of sector 2 where riders can really stretch their legs. A long looping right-hander around turn 5, a little bit of a downhill dip afterwards, and they open the throttle on the back straight. It's short and sharp, but it's one of the few chances to get them opening the throttle into slipstreams and diving up the inside here at the Dani Pedrosa corner, an absolutely iconic corner in the motorsports calendar. Swing it around along right-hander, that is the Pedrosa corner, turn 6. 2 left-handers away at 7 and 8. Before another overtaking opportunity at turn 9. It's not quite the hard braking you have at 2 or turn 13 or even at turn 6. But we have seen plenty of moves made here in the past. A double right-hander through 9 and 10. Coming out of this section, entering into sector 4, it's another chance to stretch the legs of those stock bikes through 11 and 12 pair of fast flowing right-hand corners. And then another iconic corner named after another MotoGP legend from Spain, turn 13, where the long lap penalty loop is, the Jorge Lorenzo corner, where we have seen so many races decided across all levels throughout the years. Rolling up to the grid then. All eyes on the 73, Jacopo Cretaro from SF Racing. Number 47 in pink, the Hungarian Tibor Varga, the head of third row. You would have to say, if someone like Tibor Varga or Borja Gomez can get a decent start, put themselves into the top 5 early on, then they're in with every opportunity picking up some silverware here.
Yeah, the start's going to be absolutely crucial. Just about ready to go, crossing himself there ahead of this race.
So the flags are waved, the lights are on, the revs are rising, and we are go in the Stocks European Championship. Cretaro does take the lead, but he wheelied off the line there. He doesn't have the best drive. Will he hold on to the whole shot coming through turn 1? It looks like it will, because there's 4 abreast just behind him, and we see a rider getting stood up there. The number 52, Andy Verdoya, now taking an inside line, but he's in 3rd position. It is Cretaro who's going to lead across the opening corners and through sector 1.
Yeah, you talk about Cretaro having a bit of wheelie there. Well, so did Ruben Romero, but he's had an absolutely fantastic start. He's managed to move up from P3 to P2, and now he's going to try and put the pressure on Jacopo Cretaro as we get this lap underway.
Yeah, super stuff from Ruben Romero, who's got a long lap penalty coming his way, the number 71. He does actually have to drop now behind. He does drop behind Andy Verdoya now. Verdoya making a little bit of a comeback here. Well, there, Archibald McDonald takes Ruben Romero as well. So not the best couple of moments for Romero after such a good start. But Cretaro is opening up a little bit of an advantage here. And Andy Verdoya saw that. Andy Verdoya is going to go with him. So we're coming across, still only halfway through the first lap, but it's beginning to settle into a little pattern. But Cretaro looked very wide there coming around turn 8. A little bit further back, that's Joan Diaz, the number 27, who's battling with Iker Garcia and Tibor Varga. But it's Archibald McDonald who holds on to 3rd position ahead of Ruben Romero, with Iker Garcia where he started in 5th position.
Yeah, I think Iker Garcia might be a bit disappointed with his start. He wasn't able to get away maybe as he would have liked. And he's just having a bit of a moment there, but he is going to try and get the move done here in Jorge Lorenzo corner. He's not been able to do so though.
Yeah, speaking of good starts, though, we mentioned Borja Gomez before the race. He's up into 8th position, and I just saw in the background of your picture, he made a move on Tibor Varga, the number 12. He is traveling and traveling fast. Keep an eye on the number 20, the number 12, the Team Honda Laglice rider in the background. He's charging through the pack, but back out front, it's still Cretaro over Verdoya, with McDonald settling into a bit of a rhythm here. 1, 2, 3. Iker Garcia has moved through on Romero into 4th position. Ruben Romero does have a long lap penalty to serve, which is going to be detrimental to his racing hopes. You would have to say he hasn't gotten away well here, but he does look like he was about to take Iker Garcia there on the inside.
Yeah, just back at the front, Jacopo Cretaro is half a second faster than Andy Verdoya, or wasn't that opening lap. So that's going to be really interesting to see if he's able to pull away at all.
An issue here for Romero. He's looking at his rear.
And from bad to worse, isn't
yeah,
it? For
wow,
Romero.
it's just not going well here at all for the Fase Racing rider. So, here we go, your leaders. And it's Archibald McDonald who is going to move into 2nd position at the expense of 2nd place Andy Verdoya, the French rider.
Is he going to be able to answer here? He's not quite. Well, that was absolutely wonderful from Archibald McDonald. He's managed to get into P2 there. We saw that he was very capable of battling with the best in Estoril. This time around, well, he's in an excellent position.
Yeah, very much so. Verdoya will be happy with a podium upon his return, you would have to say, to the Stock European Championship, but there is a win on the cards here for the French rider, as there is for Archibald McDonald. Jacopo Cretaro debuted on the podium in Estoril last time out. Pole sitter here for the very first time ever in his Stock European Championship career, and he is leading this race. So he's got a podium in Estoril, but he hasn't got that win just yet. So Cretaro on the brink of a little bit of personal history as McDonald sets a 1:44.316, a new best race lap Only a few laps in, plenty to go yet, and we expect the pace to heat up. A 144.3, 5/10 of a second quicker than Andy Verdoya behind him, and 4/10 of a second quicker than the race leader Quartaro. So there could be some problems brewing here for Quartaro. Archie McDonald is looking to close in on that gap just a little bit, but not close enough to make a move at turn 6, the Danny Pedrosa corner.
No, it looked like he was going to try and line it up, but he just realized he wasn't quite close enough. But if he's able to maintain this race pace throughout this race here in Jerez, then I think we can expect him to try and make a move either there or at turn 13 again, which have been so important over the course of this wonderful day of racing.
Yeah, eyes on Tibor Varga there, who's currently running in 8th position, just behind Alvaro Fuertes, who is the leader of this battle for 8th position. Quite a few riders lining up behind him, but it looks like Fuertes has managed to put just a few bike lengths at least behind himself and Tibor Varga. Varga, though, we saw it in Estoril, some brilliant late race pace, really brought him into the podium conversation. Hasn't quite had the same success early on here. Out of control ever so slightly was Benze Keskas there, who went on the inside and slipping and sliding his way around the Jorge Lorenzo corner.
Yeah, Varga's actually looking really strong here. He's currently running in P9, but he's looking like he's quite determined as he tries to catch up with Alvaro Fuertes.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 47, we'll keep an eye on him as the race progresses. He's second in this group in the battle for 8, shall we say. Running in P9 behind Fuertes, but looking to gain. So back at the front, we still have Jacobo Quartaro, Archibald McDonald, and Andy Verdoya as your 1, 2, 3 with Iker Garcia. We haven't mentioned him a whole lot. We mentioned him at the beginning. Borja Gomez started on the 4th row. He is up to 6th position. He is trailing Blai Trias.
Yeah, Iker Garcia is very much one that we need to keep our eye on. He's our race winner in Estoril. He's a fantastic rider, so if he can just keep up with these leading 3 for the time being, he's setting very similar times. They're all 144.7, 0.6. So if he can keep up with them, then he's in with a chance of augmenting his lead in the Stock European Championship.
Yeah, crucial points on offer here in the Stock European Championship as well. It is only race 2 of 7 in 2025, but with only 7 races, every point is crucial and pivotal, particularly if you're going to put together a title tilt. And given the unpredictability of the 2025 grid, Archibald McDonald going to have a little look up the inside. He takes the lead off the hands of Jacobo Quartaro, the pole sitter, who clips him back. But on the run down into turn 1, is Quartaro going to get a better drive into turn 1? He won't have the inside line, but as we were saying, crucial points on offer here. Because here? Look at this, Andy Verdoya now relegates Quartaro into 3rd position. So Archibald McDonald is your new race leader. Andy Verdoya back into 2nd. And Quartaro into 3rd, and look who that brings into play, all that movement. It's the championship leader with 25 points in Estoril. Well, he's going to want some more points here, I think, to establish more control on that championship lead. It's Iker Garcia, the number 11. There we go, right on cue. Iker Garcia, 38 points as things stand.
He's also into the 144s with a 144.731. The 3 riders ahead of him are still in the 145, so for the time being, Iker Garcia is just slightly quicker than the riders ahead of him.
Verdoya
Can he
then
make it
for
count?
the lead. Verdoya moves into the lead. Sorry to cut across you, Connor, but Verdoya saw his opportunity, and Archibald McDonald was caught napping coming around turn 6 there. But Verdoya leading here ahead of McDonald. Quartaro still in 3rd, but as you rightly point out, Iker Garcia was quicker last time around to the 3 riders ahead of him. The question is, when will he get a chance to overtake them? He's swarming all over the rear wheel of Jacobo Quartaro, and if the pace is a little bit slower out front, look who it brings into contention. The number 12, Borja Gomez, running in 6th position. You can just see him zooming up on the back of these riders, as is Blai Trias, the number 62. So what was a 3-way breakaway group is now 6 riders battling for the victory, Connor.
It felt a moment like you'd become Australian. Did you, just because we're seeing Archibald McDonald, did you just say breakaroo? No.
I most certainly did not. Breakaway, Connor. Perhaps I did, perhaps.
Well, it's just inspired by the Australian nature of our current.
No, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare to try
Coin the term.
Not even try pull off. Try to understand some Australian slang at times. But at the top, it is the French rider Andy Verdoya ahead of our Australian friend Archibald McDonald. Then it's Jacopo Cretaro ahead of Iker Garcia, Blai Trias and Borja Gomez. Joan Diaz is running in 7th position. He's got, 2.2 seconds to make up on the 6 ahead of him, but has a 1.6 second advantage over Alvaro Fuertes in 8th position. There you can see him riding in a lonely 7th position. But back at the front, we're looking at Verdoya leading McDonald, leading Cretaro. Iker Garcia then was pretty quick last time around, drops into the 145s where it's Gomez and Trias who are the quickest riders on circuit that time. 144.7 from Trias, Gomez a 144.6. Here we go though, Cretaro's going to take 2nd position back off the hands of McDonald.
Yeah, McDonald, after hitting the front, he's just found himself slipping back down. Very unfortunate for him. But Verdoya is showing his experience now at this level. He's demonstrating tremendous race pace. He's now the fastest of the top 4 riders in this group. 145.182. So yeah, Verdoya really showing what he's capable of here.
Yeah, Iker Garcia's got some trouble coming behind him as well. You saw Blai Trias there adopt a little bit of an inner line, having a little look up the inside of the championship leader, but nothing going for the number 62 as of yet. But there will be plenty of opportunities. We still have 9 laps to go here, so a long way to go yet.
Yeah, it looked like Archibald McDonald was almost in a position to try and make a move there, just not quite able to do so. But this is, as you say, not over yet, not by a long shot. Even if Andy Verdoya does have a few bike lengths between himself and Jacopo Cretaro, that's coming down already.
It is. Yeah, it's settled into a race pattern here, it has to be said. We haven't quite seen a lot of chopping and changing amongst the top 6. McDonald, though, is looking for a little move up the inside of Cretaro.
Trias now.
And Blai Trias, does he make that move? Doesn't get it this time either. So it's about, we've seen it a couple of occasions. The riders have popped out, had a look, but opted not to commit to it fully. It's really a high-speed chess match. It's about timing your move here. So when is an opportunity going to come? You'd have to say turn 6, turn 13 are the obvious overtaking spots. But, you know, Jacopo Cretaro also fancies one at turn 9 as he retakes the lead from Andy Verdoya. Brilliant stuff from the pole sitter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got to have so many things on his mind at one point in time. As you rightly say, it is like a chess game. The tactics that you're playing with here, when you make your move, it's all so crucial. And any mistake can obviously prove, well, drastic to your chances in a race. But that was wonderful from Cretaro, just to seize that opportunity when it was presented to him.
Absolutely. And Iker Garcia now has been finally picked up by the number 62 of Blai Trias. So brilliant stuff from Blai Trias, who will be chasing down a first podium in the stock European class. So Cretaro out front ahead of Verdoya, McDonald. So your podium trio have chopped and changed places, but the difference between 3rd and 4th remains substantial as Trias has worked his way through and Iker Garcia. Garcia had nothing for the 3 ahead of him. Maybe Trias fancies it. He thinks he's a little bit faster. Is Archibald McDonald in a little bit of danger here? The number 62 is zooming in on the rear tire of the 69 as we come through turn 5. Are we going to see something coming on the back straight from Blai Trias? He is looking exceptionally quick out there. Trias at the Dani Pedrosa corner. Will he fancy a little move on the inside? This is Jacopo Cretaro who's leading. Trias does fancy a little move on the inside. He's going to take McDonald. He's going to bump him wide. It's very tight there. He bumps McDonald wide indeed. And Trias is in 3rd position. But for how long, Connor?
It looked like he was about to respond immediately there, but just Trias able to make it stick and doing so well to do so. He had been marginally faster in the previous lap, I think just 0.2 in it, but Trias announced his plans there. It was very clear what he was going to do, and he's managed to overtake Archibald McDonald. And Gomez now has moved into P5 ahead of Iker Garcia, who moved to the back of this leading group of 6.
Yeah, Blai Trias, the 18-year-old, very impressive stuff there. So, looking around, yeah, Iker Garcia, well, he's fallen off the pace here somewhat. Borja Gomez picked him off, as you point out, and Gomez has got good pace too, so you'd wonder how long before he tries a move on McDonald with, what, 7 laps to go now? Light Trias is on the forward march. 145s, everyone into the low 145s that time around, with Cretaro the quickest of the lot at 145.1. But he's still got plenty of company. Andy Verdoya biding his time now. Any mistake will be pounced upon here for sure. You can be guaranteed of that. But there are, what, 6 riders here fighting for victory, fighting for the podiums, but it's Cretaro in control.
In control for the time being, but Andy Verdoya is so close behind, and he's got a lot of experience at this level as well, so he's not one to rule out by any means. But it's been fantastic from...
Here we go. Blai Trias going to try and move up the inside there. Not quite at Danny Pedrosa corner. Didn't quite work for him that time. As Verdoya holds on to second place. Garcia now is falling off the pace here. You can see it. He's fallen a couple bike lengths behind Borja Gomez now. So Garcia might be running into some trouble here. It seems he doesn't have the pace. He's 1.1 second off the lead. And looking at his sector times, it seems in Sector 1 is where he lost most of his time with the leading group. So perhaps just a little error, but let's keep an eye on Garcia, the number 11.
Yeah, Garcia needs to make sure that he finishes his race. If he does have an issue of some kind, if he feels that he can't keep the pace without pushing too much to make sure that he stays with this leading group, he's still got a big gap with the riders behind him, and there are valuable points on offer for him here in Jerez to add to those that he accumulated in Estoril in round 1.
So Archie Bob McDonald there taking second place back off the hands of Andy Verdoya, meaning Blai Trias has been relegated to 4th. So it's going to chop and change here again. By the looks of it, it's going to be Cretaro who's leading over Verdoya, and it looks like McDonald has got 3rd zone off there, but then Iker Garcia and Borja Gomez are coming. Borja Gomez up the inside of Blai Trias, and Blai Trias, he was on the podium positions, now he's a couple away from them. He's down into 5th position. So Cretaro, it has to be said, he's been brilliant over this last lap and a half. He's opened up a bit of a gap, 0.6 of a second, the largest it has been all race, while the others squabble behind him. He is clearing off into the distance, but still a far cry from being home, I would say.
No, absolutely not. But the truth is that the squabbling behind, as you mentioned, the chopping, the changing, the battling, plays into his hand. We almost saw Borja Gomez pulling through there, but it just, as you said, I don't think timid would be the word, but reserved. It didn't go for the move when there was an opportunity for it. But yeah, it's Cretaro who's really excelling, but every time it looks like he's pulling away a bit, Andy Verdoya or Archibald McDonald or whoever is in P2 at that point in time does manage to make up that ground as well. And as we see here, Archibald McDonald just on the inside getting into P2 there. What a move there from the Australian.
Yeah, great stuff from Archie Bob McDonald as he reclaims second place from the French rider, 52, Andy Verdoya. Borja Gomez, the number 12, is running in 4th place on the podium last time out. Gomez, he's come from the 4th row of the grid here today at an excellent start, and he's eyeing up some more podium potential. Is he going to get up the inside of Verdoya here? He absolutely is. It's a block pass. Is he going to cut off the nose of the French rider? It's a clean move from Gomez. Does he have the drive to the line into turn 1? They're going side by side here. Gomez does have the inner line here to block out Verdoya, and Gomez, yeah, it looks like he's got this move sealed off, keeping it clean and tidy, but Verdoya is not going down without a fight. It looked like he wanted the inside line coming through turn 1 and 2 there, but it didn't go for him, and Gomez has got that 3rd position. Cretaro out front ahead of McDonald, and now Borja Gomez ahead of Andy Verdoya.
Now the question is whether Borja Gomez can take advantage of having put himself into P3. Is he going to be able to advance any further up? Because the leading 2 are escaping now. We can just have a look at that move there. Just going side by side, Andy Verdoya and Borja Gomez, but it's Gomez who gets that inside line and just makes sure that he pulls through into that turn 1.
Yeah, superb images there of that battle between Verdoya and Borja Gomez. So Jacopo Cretaro's lead has vanished. He's now got Archie Bob McDonald swarming all over his rear tire. Both riders are into 145s. Low 145s last time around for McDonald, mid 145s for Curtaro, so maybe there are some pacing issues out front. A little look over the left-hand shoulder from Archibald McDonald just to see where Borja Gomez is. The rest of the riders in this group are matching that pace, mid 145s last time around. And by the looks of things here, they're all matching each other around the different sectors. So, no outstanding late pace, separating themselves from the pack here, but a good race out front from Jacopo Curtaro. He's led for a number of laps now, and he's looking pretty comfortable there.
Yeah, Borja Gomez quicker than the two riders ahead of him there with a 144.754. Jacopo Curtaro, our race leader, is still in the 145s. Gomez going with a move there, just unable to pull it off, but you can see his ambition, you can see what he was trying to do, and he's very much making sure that these two riders ahead of him are on their toes because he is coming for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Gomez searing late race pace here in Spain, in Jerez. He's on the podium last time out, came out on top of a battle. Iker Garcia cleared off for the win, but the likes of McDonald and Tibor Varga were ones to miss out. With Jacopo Curtaro, your current race leader, on the podium then, and a bit of trouble for Jacopo Curtaro as Archibald McDonald tried to hang it on the outside, nearly ran into the Australian. But nonetheless, he still leads this race, but Borja Gomez has closed right up on them. And it seems like Archibald McDonald may have some trouble coming his way before the end of this lap. Gomez, you can just see it there, that he's so much tighter around those left-hand corners. He's just got better grip by the looks of things at the moment. But we'll see a little bit better around these fast right-handers who's sliding out off the line a little bit more.
Yeah, Archibald McDonald just looking back there. I think we've said it before, but cue the Jaws music because Borja Gomez is coming. Any opportunity he's going to seize, whether it'll be here at turn 13 or not. Yep, looks like it, but on the outside, Borja Gomez, is he going to be able to maintain his P2 position? They're side by side for the time being, but it looks like Borja Gomez is just a few centimeters ahead. But now we're going to turn 1, and Archibald McDonald claims it back, but this is a battle that is not going to finish anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff there from the duo, and it's still ongoing. Archibald McDonald did brilliantly to respond coming out of the final corner and down the front straight into turn 1, and he does brilliantly to respond again. Borja Gomez was trying to get through across the opening corners, but no, McDonald comes and barges him out of the way and says, P2 is mine for now, fella. You're going to have to do a lot better than that. So he will try and do a lot better than that. He's opened up a bit of a gap, but Dani Pedrosa corner awaits here. Turn 6. Will Gomez get close enough to try another move to continue this battle with Archibald McDonald? He most certainly will.
What about
and
that?
Here it comes. And this time he has got it. Or has he? They collide. They collide coming around Dani Pedrosa corner. Archie McDonald is not giving this one up without a fight. We knew that already. No centimetre given between these two riders as they battle for second and third position, and of course the knock-on effect of this is Jacopo Curtaro can now clear off into the distance, but not for long, because immediately after that, after the contact, McDonald has his eyes fixed on the prize ahead of Jacopo Curtaro. He's not letting him out of his sights that easy. So Borja Gomez, what else has he got up his sleeve here as we come around the final corners here of the lap? Into the Jorge Lorenzo we come, left-hander. Are we going to see it here? Are we going to see Gomez finally get one? No. It's been a brilliant battle over the past lap, but McDonald takes the win in this one.
Yeah, I mean, that entire lap was a battle between those two. For the time being, yep, Archibald McDonald did come out on top, but Borja Gomez is going to be making another move there. That's where he began his attack at turn 13 on the previous lap. He didn't go for it this time around. There'll be a reason why, but he's getting a narrower line there. He's lining up the right position, and you just know that there's going to be another lunge sometime soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is Curtaro out front, but it is Borja Gomez taking a tighter line there. But I can't help but notice Iker Garcia has very much fallen off the pace here. I think he's going to hunker down and settle for 6th place, get some crucial points on the board, because it seems, with what, just over a lap and a half to go, the podium is very much out of reach, as it might just be out of reach as well for Andy Verdoya. But here comes Borja Gomez. How about that for a move? You're dead right, Connor. Brilliant stuff from Gomez. He's tried that up Every time Gomez has thrown something at McDonald, he's had a response, but not this time, and he's already opened up a gap. Brilliant stuff from Borja Gomez.
Yeah, he's got his eyes on P1, I think. He's finally managed to get ahead of Archibald McDonald, and now he's getting closer and closer to Jacopo Cretaro. This is absolutely fantastic stuff from Borja Gomez. We saw what he was capable of. This time he's made it stick, and just look at that focus. He knows what he wants. He wants the top step of the rostrum.
Yeah, coming around these fast right-handers for the penultimate time into the Jorge Lorenzo corner. No rider looks close enough to try a lunge going over to lead on the last lap. It has to be said, the 62 of Blake
what about that though? What about that though?
Oh, is he close enough? I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but Jacopo Cretaro now knows Borja Gomez is there, and he's here for the win. Who's got the better drive coming into turn one? Looked like Gomez was going to take that inside line, but not quite. It's Cretaro leading through turn one over Gomez and McDonald. Has to be said, I was just about to say, 62, Blai Trias going about his business unabashedly there in fourth place. Not try to move yet, but don't be surprised if one comes late on, Connor. But we're on the last lap here of the Stock European Championship. We're coming around turn four. Couple more overtaking opportunities left, particularly Danny Pedrosa corner. Which way is it going to go, Connor?
Oh, it's impossible to say when there's racing like this, when Borja Gomez is in this kind of form, but Archibald McDonald is so close as well. Like, anything can happen here. Blai Trias as well.
Here we go. Borja Gomez up at Danny Pedrosa. But he's got him on the cutback. Has he got him on the cutback? They almost touched tires. Connor, but it's Jacopo Cretaro who drops into P2, and Borja Gomez gets the job done there, but the race is far from over. Here comes Archibald McDonald, and what is going on for Jacopo Cretaro? He's been leading the pole sitter, and all of a sudden he's back to P3 on the final lap. McDonald, is he going to get close enough to Gomez? Round turn 10 we go. One last big opportunity for these three riders to stake a claim at victory. One last opportunity to seal a podium place. It is Borja Gomez who leads. 2 corners to go. Navigates the first one without a problem. What about the second one? The big overtaking corner. Is Archibald McDonald going to get close enough? He won't be. Jacopo Cretaro holds on. Cretaro high sides out, and Blai Trias is on the podium. Borja Gomez is going to win the race. Borja Gomez leaves it late, but he gets the job done. The number 12, Archibald McDonald, tried a late move at the Jorge Lorenzo corner. Didn't make it stick, but takes his first podium of the year. Blai Trias debuts on the podium, the Stock European Championship. Andy Verdoya, Iker Garcia in 4th and 5th, while pole sitter, race leader Jacopo Cretaro crosses the line in 14th, Connor.
Well, he's still in the points, but
Cretaro.
that is, I think, devastating would be the word. I mean, he was P1 for the vast majority of this race. He looked a sure thing for a podium finish at the very least, despite the fact that as soon as Borja Gomez got past Archibald McDonald, he had his eyes set on P1 and gave us a spectacular last lap. But it's just so unfortunate for...
Incredibly unfortunate, I have to agree. We've seen
Cretaro.
plenty of last corner drama here through the years, and today again. But Jacopo Cretaro, your heart goes out to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leading that race. And then just late attacks from Gomez and McDonald. He had no answer for it. Blai Trias tried to make a move through. It looked like he had him covered as well. But then a high side at the final corner. Thankfully, he's okay. He got up, remounted, and at least picks up 2 points for his efforts in the championship.
Yeah, he's going to feel like a small reward, though. Excellent for Archibald McDonald, though, with the P2. He'll be very happy. He's moved up to 3rd in the Stock European Championship standings.
Yeah, great podium for Archibald. Missed out, as we said, during the race, P5 in Estoril. But he is a race winner in this class, and he does want to win races. I mean, when you look at his record, going back to 2024, Archibald McDonald, in the last 5 races, there's a P5, a P2, a DNF, a victory, and a P11. So inconsistent perhaps is the word, but this is one of the better days. There's a win and 2 podiums in his last 6. So solid stuff from Archibald McDonald. If he can get that little bit of consistency, you'd have to imagine he can become a serious contender in the 2025 Stock class. Number 12, though, no doubt he is a contender. Borja Gomez back into the joyful arms of the Laglice team. Let's take a little listen into the celebrations. Bestia are the cries of beast down in Parc Ferme from the Laglice team. Honda, big celebrations for Blai Trias as well. His debut podium in the class. Well, Archie Bob, happy with that for sure, but you can see he's absolutely tired from it. Very tired. A big effort riding around here under the Spanish sun, particularly in the incredible heat that it has been here over the weekend in Jerez. Big celebrations then as they take the picture with the number 1 with Borja Gomez. Brilliant, brilliant ride. 11th on the grid he started, got a good start and romped home to a brilliant victory. Struck late on Jacopo Cretaro, as did Archie Bob McDonald, and unfortunately Cretaro crashing out at the final corner. Big high side for the pole sitter. Great to see camaraderie between rivals and riders. McDonald and Gomez, big hugs for one another. Quick debriefs then of all the race, it seems, between the teams and rider, but we'll be hearing from Borja Gomez very, very shortly, of course, to get his thoughts on what was a brilliant race. Here we go, we see some of the key moments from the stock race in Jerez. The move that put Gomez into the lead ahead of Jacopo Cretaro. They nearly touched tires as well going around there, and then Jacopo Cretaro dropped to 3rd by this point. Blai Trias made an attack, but you see there the rear wheel of Cretaro just whipping around before gripping again, and it sends the pole sitter into the air. Huge disappointment for the pole sitter, it has to be said. Brilliant race from him, but we know he will be back. He had a podium in Estoril. Should have had a podium at least today, you would have to say. It's hard not to see Cretaro coming back. Same can be said for Borja Gomez. A podium in Estoril and victory today in Jerez. Brilliant from the number 1 in Jerez, and we're going to hear from him now. He's below with Conor Doherty, and we're just going to hear with them momentarily. And now we can indeed hear from Borja Gomez, who's with Conor.
That's right, Chris. And with Borja, after what was an incredible race, you left it late, but you won here. Podium in Estoril and top of the podium today. How are you feeling?
Yeah, the season already is going good. Estoril was a little bit hard because we know we didn't do test. Was difficult with the 600, but we did a good job and get good points. When we went here to Jerez, first day was incredible. Just first lap, I was already getting a very good feeling. But I don't know why the weekend became worse. Yesterday we were lost, and yesterday night we say, okay, we put our best bike. That was Friday's day, and first lap today I was feeling good. I know the race was going to be long, and I just wait and a little bit of head, and final of the race I was there and I attacked. we did a good job. I thanks to Honda, to my team and my family, all these people that is giving me all they can, and that's good.
Brilliant. And in Spanish, please.
Sí, bueno, la verdad que está haciendo un inicio de temporada positivo. En Jerez nos costó un poquito porque no habíamos hecho test con esta moto y de vuelta a las 600 me costaba un poco, pero bueno, conseguimos buenos puntos para el campeonato. Y nada, aquí la verdad que el fin de fue muy bueno. El primer día me encontraba realmente bien, pero realmente ayer nos perdimos, hice una quali muy mala. Y nada, ayer por la noche decidimos poner la mejor moto que teníamos, que era la del viernes. Y desde la primera vuelta de hoy me he encontrado otra vez muy bien, a gusto, y sabía que la carrera iba a ser dura, larga, y he decidido esperar, y al último sabía que tenía ese plus, que lo hemos podido aprovechar y ganar esta carrera. La verdad que le doy las gracias a Honda porque está haciendo un buen trabajo, a mi equipo y a toda la gente que me apoya, y patrocinadores y gente que quiere en mí. Muchas gracias.
Congratulations again.
So Borja Gomez takes the victory here in Jerez in the Stock European Championship. He started 11th on the grid, and you can see the number 12 there, lights out, hanging it out the outside. It was Jacobo Cortaro, though, who started on pole position and did much of the front running. Iker Garcia, Estoril race winner there, the number 11, working his way towards the business end of proceedings. Cortaro did much of the front running, but was then challenged by Archie Bob McDonald. Two going shoulder to shoulder down the front straight. And then he was quickly relegated to P3 as Andy Verdoya came steaming through. Verdoya's charge continued past McDonald, and these three riders kept swapping positions as a battle between three for the podium quickly became 6. Blay Trias and Borja Gomez tagged on to the lead group as positions continued to change, but it was Cortaro out front ahead of McDonald. But you can see Borja Gomez making his move at turn 1 to get into the podium places for the first time, working past Andy Verdoya, and from this point on there was no stopping the Spaniard. Gomez getting the inside of Archie Bob McDonald, the two going toe to toe in what was an epic battle between the duo before Gomez finally dispatched the Australian and then made his move past pole sitter Jacobo Cortaro. McDonald then also made a move past Jacobo Cortaro as they went to P1, P2. Blay Trias was gifted P3 as a last corner crash for the pole sitter saw him blow his podium hopes. But Borja Gomez is your race winner in the Stock European Championship from Jerez. So time for the podium ceremony. First out, as always, is the team representative from Team Honda Laglice. The cries of Vamos from Blay Trias, who parks it on the podium for the first time. The Yamaha GV racing rider returning to the podium, Archie Bob McDonald. And your race winner. Last out, but certainly not least, Borja Gomez. Mr. Juan Alvarez, President of the RFME's Management Committee, handing out the first prize to the team representative. High fives all around for the riders as well. Mr. Alvarez then will present Blay Trias with his first ever stock podium trophy. Bronze for Blay. Mr. Jean-Marc Desnus, Vice President of the FIM Europe, out next. The Australian takes silver. And gold goes to Borja. The first win in the class as he really launches himself to the forefront of the 2025 Stock European Championship. And now time for the Spanish national anthem.
Fuerte el aplauso para los integrantes del podium, fuerte el aplauso para el vencedor, para Borja Gómez. Ahí lo tenemos. Este es
The superb race then to close out today, and must be said, Connor, as the celebrations begin. 6 out of 6 done. Borja Gómez takes the final race of the day. His first win in the stock championship. Archibald McDonald picks up his first podium of the year, and Blair Trias picks up his first podium in the stock classes. Archibald McDonald gets that a little bit wrong. He needs a bit more practice with the Prosecco, it seems.
I'm sure he'd welcome that very much.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see him on. I'm sure we'll see him on the podium again.
I will tell you though, these riders don't need to shower themselves in Prosecco to drench themselves, because speaking with Borja Gómez in Park from 8, he was drenched in sweat. I mean, the riders have been delivering a performance here in incredible conditions.
Yeah, incredible heat out here this weekend.
Absolutely. So here we have the Stock European Championship race result here in Jerez. Borja Gómez with the win, Archibald McDonald in second, and Blai Trias in third. Andy Vidoya in fourth, Iki Garcia in fifth, Alvaro Fuertes in sixth, Joan Diaz in seventh, Filippo Foligni in eighth, and Joan Santos in ninth. Then we had Thibaut Varga in P10, in 11th Marco Gaggi, in 12th Bence Quexes, 13th David Jimenez, 14th Jacopo Cretaro after that late crash, 15th Pierre Venturini, 16th Emmanuel Brinton, 17th Alberto Garcia. 18th Gonzalo Capote, 19th Declan van Rosmalen, 20th Kilian Nestola, and 21st Rodrigo Valente, 22nd Sviatoslav Pilipenko, 23rd Javier Del Olmo, 24th Yerai Saif, and 25th Domenico Passanisi. Then we have in P26 Christian Daliano, 27th Nicolas Bevilacqua, 28th Andrea Breton, and that was it for the finishes. Then we have the Riders' Championship. Then Borja Gómez with 45 points is our Stock European Championship leader. Iki Garcia is second, moving up 2 places to third is Archibald McDonald. Blai Trias in fourth, moving up 7 places. Thibaut Varga in fifth. Jacopo Cretaro down 3 to sixth. Joan Diaz in seventh. Andy Vidoya up 13 to 8th. David Jimenez in 9th. Alvaro Fuertes up 6 to 10th. Lorenzo Della Porta drops down 5 places to 11th. Filippo Foligni up 9 to 12th. Alberto Garcia in 13th. Joan Santos in 14th. Emmanuel Brinton in 15th. Bence Quexes in 16th. And Marco Gaggi up 4 to 17th. Then we have David Sanchez in 18th. Fran Ruiz in 19th. Pierre Venturini up to 20th. Ruben Romero in 21st.
6 brilliant races culminated with Borja Gómez winning his first Stock European Championship race and seizing the initiative in the stock class. But Brian Uriarte stole the show in JuniorGP by doing the double, while Alvaro Lucas and Alex Longarella announced themselves on the European Talent Cup stage, while in Moto 2, Unai Oradre showed his class for another victory. Next up, Magny Cours, the historic racing city. We'll see you then.